I'm Savion Clay, a Goetic who summons devils and angels. I want revenge on my wicked father, Warwick Clay, who's holed up in a demon-filled fortress beneath the red sun. My shadow memento is a portable weather station. I've modified it to be my cage when I use my forte to cage adversaries. It's waiting for my father.
I'm the Cicatrix. Yes, that's the Cicatrix, and only Atrix to my closest pals. I've been to the pale and beyond, both in body and through astral projection. I'm restoring the Order of Honed Thought to glory, and determined to recruit my weaver friend Seru. He's a hard sell, but my argument is sharpened like a fine steel blade.
I'm Inkalia Singale, eater of knowledge, meddler of minds. I don't want to kill you, but I'm happy to rearrange your brain furniture if I deem it necessary. I make objects, like my mask, the haunt of the wood, to help me do that. So if you see me wearing horns, you know someone, maybe even you, is in trouble.
I am Seru, a stoic weaver who splinters into fragments. I craft art and magical implements out of glass and weave together the magic of blood and fire. Even my body is like glass. It shatters and reforms when I'm struck. I am gathering materials to create a perfect magical glass sword.
Previously on The Raven Wants What You Have. Reeling from their encounter with the ever-dying goddess and the girl from the other shore, the Vizsla threw a party to raise spirits. A trip to the labyrinthine library mentors revealed a faster way to reach the red, where all their desires lie. Just one problem: they'll have to survive Saturine's undersling first.
Alright, so it sounds like you guys are going to be headed to the undersling, probably by way of the Celestial Market, so that you can...
Yes, please.
Some of you wanted to pick up some new clothing, buy a badass leather jacket, you can fit in down in the undersling a little bit better. Totally. Is anyone else going to...
I bought a fashionable new battle scarf.
Excellent.
It gives me, it costs quite a bit of gem orbs, but I do extra damage, and it gives me Bene to my accuracy. So,
nice.
And a little bit of Vex to my interaction, because I'm spooky.
Oh, do you need a Vex?
I do need a Vex, thank you.
I'll give you a Vex token.
Maybe you should be our fighter.
Maybe I should, yeah.
I just brought some protective goggles, which I don't know if they will protect me in the red, but it certainly can't hurt.
Okay, cool. And so the Celestial Market, there's parts of the Celestial Market that are always open. So even though you're going there at night, every district has a doorway into the Celestial Market, which, like Fartown, is sort of its own separate realm. It's just this massive marketplace with shops and stalls and all kinds of things. Vendors of every kind selling every kind of ware, including many magical things, made by makers. Some makers set up shop there all the time, and you gather together some clothing items that you're interested in. Maybe grab a quick snack from a vendor, selling some nice. Pocket bread with all kinds of interesting fillings and
Something weird on a stick.
Sure.
Do you seek that out?
I do.
Do something weird on a stick.
And in fact, there is a booth called Something Weird on a Stick.
Can you go about this place?
This is glorious.
And they refuse to tell you what it is, but they'll sell it to you for 4 orbs.
Wow.
I get 2 in case I don't like the first one.
They're all different.
That's great.
They are all different. All right. And they all seem to be at least somewhat palatable.
Hey.
Oh, that's good.
Can I get one more Bene for my
right.
boosted
You
accuracy?
like a particular color?
Blue, please.
Okay. Oops. Okay. And then
Thanks.
It's easy enough to pass from there. Actually, you can't. Actually, you can. You can pass actually from the Celestial Market into directly into the undersling if you want to. So it is kind of.
Yeah,
it's not necessary. The Celestial Market is so large, and you move through it so slowly as you wind through people and booths and stuff. It's actually not technically a shortcut, but it is a fine way to get to the undersling.
Cool.
The undersling itself, unlike any other district in the city. And as I said before, none of you have probably ever had reason to go here. The whole thing is in an enormous cavern underneath the city itself, specifically underneath the Confederacy of Cloisters, which is in the southern part of the city. And it is sort of located on a big floating slab of rock in the middle of this cavern. And it's suspended by cables and chains and wires and whatnot from the top of this cavern. And you see that even though it's suspended by just hundreds and hundreds of these things, there are 5, 6, 7 times as many broken chains and ropes and things just left dangling above or hanging down below as these things seemingly keep breaking and they keep having to put up more.
Wow. That's reassuring too. Okay, good.
The entire neighborhood could just fall into this abyss? Well,
it could.
All right, then. So,
It
could. That sounds great. I'm all for this.
The one thing that you have heard about, and this basically ties right into that, is that the undersling is all about physical bravado, right? You have to be brave enough to go to the undersling to be in the undersling.
Lovely.
All right.
And you find yourself, as you exit the archway from the Celestial Market into the undersling, into a large open courtyard. And it is covered in what look like gold and white and blue feathers that just layer the floor or the ground here. And in the middle of this courtyard there is a pillory and there is what looks like maybe a whipping post.
Whoa.
Do we know what this might
pick up
be?
some of these feathers and kind of check them out.
You know immediately with your connection and your training that these are angel feathers.
Oh my gosh.
I say angel feathers. I took a few.
Not doing anything.
Just all over the ground, angel feathers.
Pillory,
oh my gosh. That doesn't seem good.
So I have any idea why this would be here? This pillory and angel feathers?
You can make a roll using your intellect.
All right.
See if you've heard
And my
about
connection
this.
to angels?
Sure, yes, absolutely.
All right. So that will be...
Oh, and we're in a new place.
Yeah.
So we're looking at Mysteries family. It is the companion of Mysteries, which means it duplicates actually the previous played card, which actually means secrets.
Yay.
Hold on to that. So adventure of 1. 3.
Okay. Yeah, you have heard of this place. It's called the Pinion Court. And you know that when angels transgress, when angels do wrong, this is where they are brought and punished by other angels.
Oh my god.
That's pretty hardcore.
Wow. I hope we don't see the angel I summoned earlier. When Crystal. All right.
Oh my gosh.
So we're heading off to the cadavers. All right.
This place.
Let's go.
I'm curious whether these feathers might be interesting materials, though, for anything you'd want to make.
Yeah, I mean, does it seem like they're arranged? Like, is this an arrangement, or are these just fallen feathers?
This is where they've fallen when angels have been punished.
Jesus. All right, these seem like they're full of power. I'm going to take a couple, unless someone seems like they're standing there telling me I shouldn't.
No, there's actually no one around.
Okay. I'm just going to take a few and put them in my ephemera bag.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got a couple as well.
Okay.
So there's nobody around. We don't really know the way to cadavers, right?
Not yet.
But let's just walk through this area and ask someone we meet along the way.
Look very confident.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So as you make your way down one of the streets, I guess at random, from the Pinion Square, the first people that you come upon are 2 people, a man and a woman, and they are passionately embracing and kissing off to one side of the street, and right now completely ignoring you.
Well, let's move on.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Seems awful.
So which do you do?
Let's let them
Pass on
embrace.
or say excuse
No, we
me?
pass on.
Pass on.
Oh, okay. All right. So you go a little bit farther down the street, and you come upon someone. It's a woman. She's got a big black eye and a little bit of like old blood kind of at the corner of her mouth, and she seems to be kind of working her shoulder as she's walking down the street. And she kind of looks. She sees that you're all looking at her, and she just stops and she just says, "What?"
Hey, we're looking for cadavers. Could you give us a hand?
Why? Cadavers? You'll see much better fights over a couple of different places.
Well, we have a. This guy is going to fight for us at Cadaver, so we need to get him there pronto.
I'm working my way up.
All right. Well, 2 blocks over, and I think another block that way, and you'll find it. He says. She says, "If you're any good," she says, "come find me.
Ooh.
My name is Markel. You want to fight some real fights? I'm the person you want to talk to."
Nice.
Cadavers. Bode's an idiot, she says as she walks down the street.
Okay. Well, I think that's
Oh,
not
good.
true.
All right, so the direction she pointed, we head there.
Okay. There's just a simple wooden door, kind of with a sign over the top of it that just seems to be just carved into the wood that just says Cadavers. And there's a large man with arms folded, he's shirtless, and he's just standing in front of the door, and he looks at all of you with a sneer.
We're here to fight, but we need to see Bode.
He says, "If you're here to fight, go on in."
All right.
One of us.
Yeah.
Inside is a smelly, dank, horrible, dark place with just combining the smell of old blood and sweat and stale alcohol, cigarette smoke. And there's just a layer of cigarette smoke that kind of pervades the upper half of the room in here. And there's a bar, there's seating, but the seating all surrounds a ring. And the ring is lined with barbed wire and places where it's covered in dried blood, and the base of the ring is there's blood stains all over it.
Wow.
I'm glad we're starting at the bottom.
And there aren't very many people in here. It's probably only about half full.
Okay.
And a couple of people look at you suspiciously as you come in. One guy seems to kind of go for a gun that he's got on his side as soon as you walk in, but then he relaxes. Kind of get the impression that he does that every time someone comes in.
All right,
Just cautious.
let's find this Bode's an idiot guy.
Where's
See whether that's true.
Okay.
Is there a bartender sort of
There's a woman behind the bar. She's a very large, broad woman, and she says, "First you drink, then you fight."
All right, give me a beer, please.
Okay.
Where's Bode, I say?
And she says, "Bode's in the back."
You need to see him.
And who are you?
Someone who has business with Bode.
I'm Seru.
People who have business with Bode usually do business with me.
I give her 5 crystal orb.
She takes them. She says, "Yeah, I'll go get Bode."
There we go.
Well done.
Look at you flashing the money around.
Since I couldn't buy a leather jacket that actually gave me any armor.
But you look real cool.
Yeah, you do look real cool. Gotta admit.
All right. So coming out of the back is a man. He's maybe 5.5 feet tall with the lift shoes that he's wearing.
Oh, yeah.
He's very slight, He's wearing this nice, sort of dapper-looking suit with a narrow tie, and he comes out and he says, "I understand you have business with me. My name's Bode."
We need a trip to the Red, and we're here. You're the man to talk to.
Whoever would tell you such a thing? Why would you think that I have the ability to take you to the Red?
Do you not? We don't want to waste our time here.
He says,
But we might be able to make it worth
"Are you
your while."
only going to answer my questions with questions?"
I resist answering that with a question. I say, no, I would like to actually answer you properly. As a fellow we met when we were doing research on how to get to the Red. We heard through the grapevine that maybe you would know.
It's a dangerous thing to go to the Red.
We know that.
There are sunship docks in the Reinvention, in the Fade.
I hear that's just for suckers.
I see. Well, there are ways, I understand, to get to the Red.
Yes, we're interested.
But I only deal with people who I have done business with.
What sort of business? Fighting
This is a fighting establishment.
Mm-hmm.
I say we have a fighter here. Fine specimen indeed.
Not laughing in character.
You don't look like a fighter.
I'm a Visley. We don't look like anything.
We're not very interested here in seeing spellcasting and flashes of light.
Well, that's
Our
fine.
clientele enjoys blood,
I was actually
bone.
going to ask you, my magic is very strongly tied to blood. Would it be all right if I invigorated my blood with my magic and then beat one of your opponents to a pulp?
It would be very showy.
That sounds delightful.
So if we have that sort of transaction, then you can help us with our need to get to the Red?
Yes, and then we will talk price.
All right.
He says, "Are you ready now, or do you wish to schedule this for later?"
I'm about ready.
Okay.
I'll need a second to charge up my blood.
Would you like a battle scarf since you're going in? A token, a maiden's token of of faith.
I think I don't want to deal with the negative aspects
Okay.
of that thing, and I wouldn't want to, offend your girlfriend.
Fair.
But I will, untie my tie, so I'll hand it to you.
I want to be your hype man, so I was just hype up the crowd and
My Chaucer.
Very nice.
yeah.
We got Seru coming in the ring.
I'll find a suitable opponent for you. I'll be right back. And he turns and disappears into the back again.
Nice frustration of expectation there.
Yeah.
So I would like to weave a spell mixing vigor from the blood aggregate and movement from the fire aggregate to dump a bunch of Bene into my accuracy and my movement pools.
Okay,
Nice.
Very
great.
cool.
Do you want to consult with me on the level, or do you have it in front of you there?
This one says I could... There's an effect includes adding 5 Bene to a stat pool.
Okay, yeah.
And that's level 4.
That sounds reasonable.
Will that have a depletion, or is it just upon their use?
Yeah, when they're gone, they're gone.
Okay, then I'll
Cool.
spend those 4 and just kind of... I'm sure that, the visible blood vessels on my skin
yeah.
just kind of highlight red and charge up. And
Wow.
Red, like glowing fire red?
Oh, yeah. Maybe a little smoke comes out of my nose as I do this.
Okay.
Oh.
About the time that you're ready with all of that magic, the bartender goes over and rings this red bell. Ring, 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 that's over the bar, and she says, "All right, you lugs, we gotta fight!"
Do I have time to tap into the noosphere and see if I can gain info about his opponent, or is it just too fast?
It
I was going to try to get his weakness, but...
It seems it seems kind of fast.
All right. Then I think what I will do is, if there's one in particular person that you rile up who's just shouting something amazing, I might cast Astonado on him, and he can keep shouting the same thing.
That's
during
delightful.
the fight. So if you see someone, point it out, and I'll try to cast that on him.
And I was going to say, if you need a distraction, let me know. Like, give me the symbol, whatever.
Nice.
So she points at you and she says, "Climb up in there." And she points at the ring.
All right, I'll climb into the ring.
All right.
All right, I keep on hype manning.
And so, what are you doing? What are you saying?
I am saying things like, I'm just spinning falsehoods about you, and your Sarah's incredible. He beat the Baron of
Battlethorpe.
Of Battlethorpe. Yeah, exactly. We can hype man together.
Yeah, Battlethorpe. Yeah.
So my hope is just to both encourage you, but also I'm hoping that it will presumably get people more excited about this fight, which might help us have leverage over this.
For sure.
Okay.
Later.
So I'm going to need you to make a roll for that action. We are under the Defender of Notions, the Angel. So this is +2 if that's your family.
Okay.
And since I'm helping her, does that...
Sure, you can... Okay.
Cool. Do you think persuasion?
This would be persuasion.
Cool.
Interaction.
I will spend my Vex from interaction because I feel kind of confident.
So that's -1.
Yep, so that's -1, which kind of cancels out your help or something. And I'll spend a Sortilege to boost it.
So you have no venture.
No venture.
You don't have any persuasion?
Oh, if I can add my persuasion, I have 3 venture.
Okay.
Oh no! I rolled a flux and a 9.
All right, so you're getting things riled up. You're getting things really riled up.
I feel like that's appropriate.
But because you're actually using some of your magical power to infuse yourself,
And it's this battle scar too,
you suddenly you're shouting, and there's a guy sitting at a table, and he's like, yeah, getting really interested, and then all of a sudden you give a really big shout, you shout Seru's name, and the glass that is in front of him full of whiskey just shatters. Oh, what is this? Who is this guy? And he seems very perturbed at the whole thing. Shatter my glass, I'll shatter your glass.
I let you keep hype manning, and I go buy the man a nice sweet whiskey.
Fair enough.
Okay. Well.
All right. And so
I did make a 9 roll though.
So everyone but him is probably very charming.
Yes. Everyone, you actually, the crowd was extremely reluctant. They all just wanted to just sit there and but you get a couple of people on their feet. Oh, this guy, and a couple of them are like, I can't wait to see this guy get killed. But some of them are more on your side and they're excited. And so you got the crowd kind of riled up. Ooh.
Don't disappoint us, Seru.
And then, so the bartender rings the bell again, and she says, "All right, so we've got newcomer Seru, I guess I hear." She says,
"Seru the Fearless,"
and she says, "And tonight he's going to be matching off against Erlosk." And then you notice the crowd just kind of goes, Oh. And then a couple of people are just like, oh, yeah, this isn't going to last very long.
Oh, wow.
And coming out from the back is this man? You're not really sure. He's got to be well over 7 feet tall.
Wow.
And he's clad in metal bands, just metal bands covering pasty chalk white flesh. And you don't see either of his hands. His hands just kind of end in what look like almost like mace heads that are probably fitted over his hands with spikes. And his whole head and face is covered in this big metal helm. And he comes stomping up and climbs into the ring, almost breaking the barbed wire as he forces his way through into it.
What does your sight see?
And then he bangs those things together.
Wow.
Yeah, does my sight notice that he's immortal? Visley?
He doesn't seem to be a Visley or a demon.
Thought form?
Okay.
All right.
Just
Holy
scary.
shit.
Just terrifying.
And
What are you doing?
as the battle begins, we are enhancing red magic.
Oh.
So if you wanted to use any violent magic, now would be the time to do it. The card is imprisoning ice, and the family is notions. So he gets up there and he kind of raises his hands up, but the crowd isn't really enthusiastic about him.
Yeah.
They're starting to kind of sit down again, and but everyone's interested.
So I'm going to draw my obsidian knife and see if people are like, whoa, don't bring a knife to this fight. Or if they're like, yeah, it's going to be bloody.
No one seems to react at all.
Okay.
Okay.
Knife it is.
Okay. So he's just kind of standing there banging his fists together. What are you going to do?
I'm going to flip the knife around a little bit and then just kind of...
All right.
Make him come to you.
All right. He doesn't seem to need much prompting, and he bangs his fists together a little bit more, and he charges forward with one of these fists sort of leading the way. He does not seem to be a subtle or delicate combatant in any way, shape, or form. So you're going to need to start things off with a dodge defense roll.
All right. I will spend a penny from movement, and I am skilled in dodge from my fourth ability. So that's a venture of 2.
We will start helping you with sortilege if you need it too.
Exactly.
So don't hoard your sortilege.
I want to see how this first one goes.
Okay.
If he does 10 points of damage in one hit, then I'll know that's a problem. Venture of 2. And I roll a 4.
All right. Unfortunately, you start to duck, but it isn't even so much that he's so fast. It's just that he's just got such a wide swing. It's just there's just too much to dodge. So he hits you and inflicts 4 points of damage.
Ouch.
So that will be... I'm going to spend a physicality to turn... Not perception, just to turn that into wounded to nothing, so that just leaves me with 1 injury.
Okay. So you come away with that with just basically a scratch from one of the spikes on his fist. And then what do you do?
I'm just gonna go all out. Why not? I'm gonna use some sortilege. I'm going to spend a penny from accuracy. And I'm
so nervous.
I know.
Yeah, that'll do for now.
Okay.
I'm rolling the Bene for some reason. So this is a venture of 1, and I roll a 7 and a 1.
Okay. So you stab at him with your obsidian knife, and you find the space between 2 of these armor bands and strike him. And so your knife is probably a light weapon, level 2, so it does 2 points of damage. And so that adds 2 to your...
right.
Venture.
I forgot about using weapons, so yeah, +2, so a little bit more.
Okay.
Go.
Unfortunately, it looks like that tactic is going to be a difficult one because he's so armored that it doesn't really seem to do very much.
Dang.
Okay, well then I can start spending Benny for damage then.
Okay. So he returns the favor with just a wide sweep of his big fist. And let me know if any of you guys would like to take any actions.
Are we going like round by round with the
Yes,
suit cards?
this would be a new card. It's on the... this is bad.
Oh no.
Shouldn't have said anything.
So the card that we're going to have in play for the rest of the session is a Nemesis card. It is the Vizier, and the Vizier is the Nemesis of Notions, which means that it's -1 to everybody, -2 if you are Notions.
Now, I'll have you all know I'm an apostate, and so I can ignore that effect.
Ooh,
Very nice.
nice.
Testament of Sons is
Not your bag.
not my bag.
All right, so -1 for everybody.
Mhm.
Okay.
-2.
Yeah, you can use that.
Oh, right. I forgot we had these lovely things.
Ah.
If somebody wants to
Okay.
throw me some sortilege for this, then I'll
I will
take
start throwing you sortilege.
Okay. And I'll spend a penny for movement. So this is a venture of 2.
Okay.
I roll a 5 and a 9.
Okay.
Sortilege, baby.
Yes. Your little boost of magic in his favor makes it so that even though it's moving in right close toward him, you suddenly are
Here we go.
kind of
Dodge,
almost kind of pushed out of the way by her sortilege as this big fist flashes by you, and it's your action.
All right, so changing my tactic, I'm going to be spending Benny for damage.
Okay.
And I am just going to try rolling 1 die this time.
I'll give you sortilege.
Oh, okay, then I'll take some sortilege. This is venture of 1. That's a 7 and a 0, but that is the magic die for the 0.
Oh,
5.
so you got
I got some flux.
you got a flux and your high
That's
roll.
the disadvantage of giving sortilege.
Your venture should be the dagger 2.
Okay.
Right?
Oh, right, sorry. So
Venture 3.
1, 2, 3, but -1 from this, so it's 2.
Okay, and using a bene for damage is +2 damage. So you hit. So you're going to do 4 points of damage, but you have a minor flux, and what happens is
This is why we don't get. This is why we get kicked out of bars. Keep using our little sortilege and getting into trouble.
all right. So remind me again. Seru worked at a factory that made windows in Shadow. Probably had a really mean boss at this place.
Oh, no.
So you suddenly see, as though he really is there, suddenly appearing in the middle of the ring is your boss from Shadow,
crap.
and what's your shadow name?
Steve.
Steve. He just is like, Steve, I've told you one time, I've told you a million times, I need you to work faster. You're not making your quota.
And do we all see?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, none of the rest of you sees
Oh my
this.
god.
Look really pissed off, though. All of a sudden. Oh, that guy.
All right, it's a new round. This remains in effect, but also we have a card from the Mystery family, and it's enhancing green magic. So movement and life.
I am mysteries,
That's so
so
cool.
it cancels out the...
It does.
Good, for now.
At least for one round, it's going to do that.
Okay.
But he's coming in with another completely unsubtle two-fisted attack with this thing, with his big fist bringing down.
Spending Benny for dodging, so my venture is 2.
Do you want any more sortilege or no?
Valid question.
I'm going to be hoping to use your sortilege on the attack.
There we go.
All right, so a venture of 2.
Okay.
I roll a 7.
You just barely managed to duck out of the way of this massive attack as it crashes down on the base of the ring, and the whole floor shakes and shatters, and then something really good happens.
Yeah.
It's a positive GM shift. You're going to get a joy from this. His two fists come down so hard onto the floor that the spikes that cover them stick into the floor momentarily, and he is stuck there. What would you like to do?
Do I see like a nice gap in his armor that I normally wouldn't be able to exploit?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to aim for that.
Okay, great.
Yeah, sortilege.
So I'm going to sortilege from Savion, and I will spend a penny for accuracy for damage. And I'm not -1 anymore from the sun, so this is +2 from
Plus your knife.
the weapon.
Oh, just from the weapon.
Yeah, and
Okay.
this is
right, that's for
damage.
damage, right?
I don't know why I picked up the third die. It's just 2. That's an 8 and another 0 from... Oh, wait, that's a 3.
We're going to burn this place down.
All right. The image of your boss fades.
Good.
That hallucination goes away. So you hit him, and you not only do the damage that you were hoping to do, which would be 4 points, but you actually knock him down to one knee. You get in this vital spot and knock him down. But unfortunately, he also manages to free his trapped arms and gets them up and going again. And it is a new round. Again, any actions from the crowd?
Just cheering him on. I don't know if that helps or not.
I'm
but
going to spend this round recharging my pools.
Smart.
Okay.
My swordless pool.
Okay.
Good call.
And so the new card is the Relentless Rumor.
Oh.
And it is enhancing secrets and green magic still. And so he manages to get to his feet, and you can hear a muffled voice through that helmet that just says, "You won't do that again. You'll be dead." And he raises up his fists again, and he tries to do the same maneuver again.
All right.
Do you want sortilege, or do you want to use that for your fence?
I'm going to hold off on that for now. We're not quite that desperate. So I will spend a penny for movement, which will actually counter out the diminished from the Invisible Sun card.
Okay. He still seems a little unsteady from having gone down on one knee and gotten back up again.
Okay. I still have the 1 from my dodge, so venture of 1.
Okay.
And I roll a 1 now.
Okay, well, unsteady as he is, he still manages to hit you again for 4 damage.
All right. So again, I'm going to spend a physicality to make that go away. So I have 2 injuries now.
Okay, 2 injuries, not yet wounded, and it's your action.
All right. Throw me some sortilege.
Take it.
Go, Seru, go, Seru.
All right, so 2 from the dagger, -1 from the sun card, and adding 1 to damage.
Nice.
Or using 1 Benny for 2 damage.
Venture of 2.
And venture of 2, and sortilege.
Okay.
No, it's venture of 1. 2 from the sword, 2 from the weapon, -1 from that. Gives me a net of 1.
Oh, but the advantage for damage.
Advantage for
I'm
damage,
sorry.
right.
You're right, I'm wrong.
Okay, sortilege. And I roll a 0, which that's my mundane die.
Okay.
And a 4.
Okay, so the 4, that does not quite...
Oh, no.
Does not quite.
Yeah, you can do this.
Shake it off, Seru.
Shake it off.
All right, it's a new round. Now we have the Suspicious Hound, and it's going to be enhancing visions.
But that's me.
And
But now I'm just
also indigo
normal.
magic. And he is swinging at you again.
This guy.
I will use some of my sortilege to defend.
Okay.
So -1 from that, +1 from my dodge, and I'm using sortilege. I'm not going to spend any Benny this time. I roll a 1 and a 6.
Okay, so no venture.
Right.
Okay, he hits you again.
Shit.
4 points of
Oh,
damage.
what did we do? We sent him in here.
That's good. So that'll be a wound. So I'm at 2 wounds now.
What? Oh, because you're out of
I'm out of
physicality?
physicality.
So when do your abilities about shattering?
It happens whenever I get hit. That's where the dodge comes from. So when he's hitting me, like a lot of these misses are actually him hitting me hard enough that I kind of break and reform.
Oh, I'm sorry. We should have been talking about that.
Cool to
Okay.
see.
Yeah. So there are little pieces of glass Seru all over the place as each swing is breaking off pieces of you and shattering
And then
and
it
breaking
comes
them
back?
apart. Yeah, and then it comes back.
So
That's
I
hard
think
to
I'm gonna
watch.
get hit this time, and I realize how hurt he is. I'm going to try and do a very subtle thought becomes motion next time he raises his hand to try and hold his hands up a little higher just to give him a little bit more dodge.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Nice.
I don't know if that'll work out.
Okay. Go ahead and make a roll for that to... well, actually, it's Seru's turn.
Okay.
You were going to do that too.
Yeah.
So I don't know how... If I can use my magic in a subtle way just to like really charge up a punch and just have a really super powerful punch. Or would that just be obvious that I'm using magic?
Well, there are specific things that you can do to hide the fact that you are using magic. So it is going to be fairly visible and obvious that you're using magic.
That feels like cheating here.
I told you to tell me when you need a distraction.
Yeah, I'll do
have
the
a plan.
signal.
Okay.
As I crack my knuckles.
I cast sound play. I sort of cough into my hand and whisper. I create the auditory illusion of a sound about as loud as a single person shouting, coming from anywhere I wish within long range. So I want it to come from, based on where they're standing, like probably behind the bar or maybe in that back room where our buddy came out of, to like get people to like, basically someone just like screams to hope that it gives him a second to quietly cast his magic.
Nice. Okay.
So it costs 1 sorcery.
If you make there a scream come from the back room, every head turns.
Cool.
Nice.
All right.
So then I'd like to try and weave together strength and damage.
Okay.
And just kind of like focus it,
Like an iron fist?
Well, more like an obsidian dagger, but yes, same sort of concept. Just like putting all of my sorcerer's power into this
What level are you want to make that?
Well, if I make it like level 5, I could do... Actually, if I can make it level 6, I could do 6 points of damage, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right, and that would, in addition, if you're making this a part of your damage, right? Because, yes, you're going to be doing 6 points of damage. You're going to have a venture of 6, right? Because basically this is your magical attack.
Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Am I spending any... Can I spend accuracy for more damage or for what sort of attack roll? I'm still making... You're
still making an attack roll, so you can still add a penny of accuracy.
Okay, so... I also get the 6 from the attack?
Adventure of 6 too, right?
I'm not going to give you Sortilege because I need to use my action to try.
I don't think I'm going to need Sortilege for this because the venture will be 6, 5, and I'm not augmented there. I'll spend 1 of accuracy for my attack roll. So this is a venture of 6.
Okay, great.
And I roll a 1.
Oh, no.
You still succeed.
Oh, phew.
You just didn't want to roll a 0.
Yeah.
So, your big powered up magical blood attack stabs into him. You do 6 points of damage?
8.
8 points of damage?
It's adding to the dagger or no?
No, this would be instead of.
Okay, then it's just 6.
Okay. 6 points of damage to him. So every head turns at the sound of the scream, right? Including his.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Seru uses this opportunity to just smash into him with this magical attack, seeping with blood and fire, and staggers this guy back, takes a few steps off. The helmet comes flying off of him, and you see his chalk white, kind of scarred, horrible-looking face. And he just coughs up a little blood, and then he holds up his hands and he just says, "I yield."
Seru.
Glad I put all that money on that fight.
I feel like some of us had some healing or something. I don't think any of us have anything like that. Oh, you can?
Yeah.
You can heal yourself.
So
okay.
Just as a point of clarification, I did take into account the fact that with 2 wounds, you're actually at a strength of 2.
That's right.
So that was figuring in, but you still were successful.
Wow.
Cool.
All right, and the fight draws to an end, and you gingerly make your way, all bloody and broken,
We'll be there to.
room.
My blood hurts.
All right.
And Bode comes walking up and he says, "I did not expect you to fare so well."
Sorry, the Fearless.
All right.
I want to buy...
I had no doubt that he was fearless. I just thought he was...
More breakable.
Yes.
He's quite breakable.
He saw it comes back together.
Yeah.
An impressive feat. I enjoyed watching that.
Thank you. I need a drink.
So perhaps we can talk other business.
Yes, why don't you come back with me?
Do you want to stay here and have a drink with your opponent?
No,
I'll do that.
No, I asked the bartender.
Okay.
I say I want a drink for our guy.
Want to rub it in, huh?
No, just
She
say
says.
it was a good fight. He hit me hard. He's a strong.
Yeah, he did. But you hit him hard too. I didn't think you had it in you. Got skinny little Vizsla arms.
Sometimes I surprise myself.
And us?
But I'll pay the bartender for his drink.
All right.
And I'll go with the rest of them.
Cool.
Talk about.
All right. So he takes you back to
Distraction.
kind of a shabby little office, and it doesn't smell quite so bad back here, however. And he says, I understand you wish to find passage to the Red, and you don't want to go by more conventional means, as I'm sure learned Vizsla such as you know, there are spells and other means of conveyance that you could use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, we heard that yours was a faster way.
It will take you directly to the Red.
Perfect.
It will. It utilizes cracks in the actuality that extend between the Red and the undersling here.
Excellent.
Do you wish to go now?
No.
Can we come back in 3 days' time, say?
That would be fine.
Let's call it a week. Will that work?
Come back in a week, and after that fine showing, I will only ask for a gem orb each for passage.
We might need 2 weeks.
Okay. Did you say you need 2 weeks?
We might need 2 weeks for a gem orb each.
All right. I think we can come up with that, but we'll need 2 weeks.
As you wish. When you come, I will lead you to where you need to go.
Thank you.
Let's get you some
R&R.
Yeah.
And let's do some character summary.
Oh man,
Wow.
Seru, that was crazy.
I had a total of like 10 bene in accuracy and movement, and I used 9 of
I
them.
know. That is.
And
Whew.
it suddenly went from like, I'm doing good. Oh, wait, I have 2 wounds. So it's like, oh.
Thought we were gonna lose you.
Let's start with Savion this time.
We've made some good progress towards getting to the Red, right? I mean, that's where I'm going. I feel like I'm getting closer and closer, so I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm doubly happy that my pal Seru was not beaten to a death.
Right. Oh my
He's
gosh.
bloody. He's a bloody pulp, but he's not dead. So yeah, no, I'm feeling good about things.
Cool.
I'm sad my leather jacket doesn't actually give me armor. It makes me look cool.
You gotta take what you can get.
All right, and so with your revenge arc, this is definitely an acumen reward as you take a step toward getting closer to reaching your father. For sure.
Did you say 1?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, so the Cicatrix, I felt felt pretty good about the ability to help Seru, and that Seru trusted her to help him. In this unrequited bond we have, any moment I can score for impressing Seru is a good day for me. And I'm glad we found a faster way to get to the Red, which is where my goals lie as well, because I know that legacy cache is somewhere near your father's tower. So things were dicey there for a while, but I've got a new fashionable battle scarf, so I think the Cicatrix is coming out on top so far.
All right. Well, this definitely seems like a investigation, or rather a tracking step in your uncovering a secret. So that's also worth an acumen.
Great.
Nice. Let's see. I'm very excited that I got to tap into the noosphere for the first time and gain some information that actually helped us kind of move quickly. That was stressful to watch. I did not like that, even though it was pretty with the glass and the I don't know. That was I didn't like that part one bit. I am keeping an eye out for a gift for the Hndssa, and I have a sense that I'm just gonna. I might just sense the thing that I think is appropriate, because I've spent some time learning about them, and kind of, even though they're really complicated, I feel like I have a good sense of what would be a good gift. And so the more that we travel and go to the Celestial Market, or maybe go to the Red, I feel like I'm slowly moving closer to the next step of what that might be. I think that's it for me.
Okay. Yeah, so it doesn't sound like you have actually progressed in your arc. However, I will say that as a locavore,
I got to go to a new library.
discovering mentors and discovering that it is frighteningly easy to sneak in there and feed on a little knowledge is probably worth some joy to you. So you get a joy. And how about Seru?
We made a little bit of progress on his arc because we're trying to get to the red so we can get that piece of glass of pure hate. Long term, he's realized that his ability to inflict damage and, survive damage is not as good as he thought it was. So in the idea of becoming like, I want to become this really great, martial sort of Vizsla, I have stuff to learn. So it's going to give me a better sense of what I need to work on for that. So he's beaten and bloody, but victorious and making plans.
You can always take an additional arc, too, if you want.
I think I might do that.
Might be the start of something like that. Yeah. And an acumen for moving closer to getting the key piece for your sword.
Cool. And I forgot this whole session started with the party where I got to see my girlfriend.
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Oh, that's right, of course.
That was a big deal.
That's a huge deal and definitely worth some joy. On your part.
Yay.
Thank you guys for arranging that for me.
Nice.
All right. So we'll see what happens in what sounds like 2 weeks. All right.
Oh, we're going to go to the red.
What could possibly go wrong?
That'd be awesome.
Sounds good.